Welcome back to Top Notch Documentaries. On this episode of Cases from the Past, I shall be discussing the highly publicised December 2010 murder of 25-year-old landscape architect Joanna Yeates. I still remember this case because it dominated the media coverage in the UK and because of also there being a major twist in the story, which I'll get to later on. This tragic case from the past all began on the 17th of December 2010. It was a Friday evening when Joanna met up with co-workers at the Ram pub in Bristol. All was well as everyone showed up to celebrate. Being so close to Christmas, I can only imagine that the mood was positive, with everyone feeling festive and looking forward to the upcoming holidays. Despite the festivities, friends and colleagues would reveal that Joanna informed them that she wasn't looking forward to the weekend. The reason being that her boyfriend, Greg Reardon, wouldn't be around as he was currently away and would be away for most of the weekend. However, Joanna still planned on making the most of her time alone by prepping for a party that both of them would be having the following week. If you've ever been for a work meet-up, you would know that the time seems to fly by. At around 8 p.m, Joanna decided to leave the pub. She said goodbye to all her friends and colleagues and exited the pub. CCTV recordings and phone records showcase what happened next. Joanna phoned her friend at 8:30 to arrange a Christmas Eve meet and then went on to purchase a pizza and some alcohol. Her walk back to her flat was around 30 minutes long. That was the last time any of Joanna's friends or colleagues spoke to her or saw her again. Greg got back to the flat on Sunday the 19th. He knew something was wrong when he came to realise that Joanna wasn't present. He had been attempting contact, but to no avail. Whilst in the flat, he called Joanna's phone one more time. Surprisingly, the phone rang. Greg quickly discovered it inside Joanna's coat pocket, her coat hanging up in the flat. The couple's cat appeared neglected, which further sent warning bells to Greg. Later that evening, Greg contacted the police to report Joanna missing. It was clear that foul play was likely due to the ominous circumstances. The Yeates family held a press conference on the 21st of December, just 4 days before Christmas. Social media played a large role in appealing to the public for information as well as raising awareness of Joanna's strange disappearance. The media also covered the news story to a large degree. Still, the family of Joanna suspected that she had been abducted. However, as there were no visible signs of forced entry to her flat, the investigators turned to people who might have known her for information. Unfortunately for the Yeates family, the dreaded news of a body being found on Christmas Day would transform their lives forever. Joanna's fully clothed body was discovered in the snow by dog walkers nearby a golf course. It was only 3 miles away from her flat. Huge sums of reward money were offered for the capture of the killer. Women were warned to not walk alone. However, as it was winter, people would choose to stay inside anyway as it got dark early into the evenings. Despite Joanna's body showing no clear signs of visible injury, the autopsy report indicated that Joanna had been strangled. More details about the night of the 17th also emerged. At around 9 p.m, a woman attending a party in the flat block heard 2 loud screams coming from the direction of Joanna's flat. Whether she believed that it was a domestic issue and so didn't want to report it is anyone's guess. Another neighbour heard a woman scream, "Help me." Despite hearing all of this though, nobody attempted to investigate further. Could Joanna's life have been saved? We can only speculate. As more people were made aware of the case, suspects began to emerge. Christopher Jeffries, the landlord of the flats, was arrested on suspicion of murder on the 31st of December. Police seemed to think that he was their man, and I still remember watching the case on the news and thinking it was him. The year ended with no 100% confirmed suspect. Most believed, including myself, it to be Jeffries. However, a huge twist came in the case on the 20th of January 2011. Police arrested 32-year-old Vincent Tabak, who lived with his girlfriend next door to Joanna and her partner. He was from the Netherlands and worked in the UK as an architectural engineer. Tabak was initially ruled out as a suspect, which could explain Jeffries taking the initial fall for Joanna's murder, but an anonymous tip put Tabak on the police's radar. DNA swabs taken from Joanna's body matched Tabak's. However, despite this, the quality was not sufficient for a conviction. Therefore, the forensic team used another forensic method. The team couldn't tell if the DNA was from saliva or semen, but they could say that the probability of it not being a match to Tabak was less than 1 in a billion. Just days later, Tabak was charged with Joanna's murder. He had claimed that corrupt officials had planted his DNA, which supported his innocence. Despite this terrible defence, a month later he allegedly confessed to the murder to a prison chaplain. He pleaded guilty in court to manslaughter, denying intentional murder. This claim was rejected. He was imprisoned for life. Jeffries was declared as no longer being a suspect on the 4th of March 2011. The reason he was likely a suspect to begin with was likely because of Tabak himself. Tabak reportedly called in a tip that Jeffries had been using his car on the 17th. Tabak was clearly a sick individual. Police released details of content found on his computer, violent pornography, even an image of a woman with a similar look to Joanna. The woman was wearing a pink top in a suggestive pose. Joanna was found with a strikingly similar pink top. Even sicker still, it later emerged that child pornography was also among content on his computer. At the trial, how the 17th likely played out was revealed. Tabak strangled Joanna within minutes of entering her flat. Tabak used his height to overpower her and she died struggling. It was described in court as being a slow and painful death. Despite the sickening actions of one individual, some light can be seen at the end of the tunnel. Joanna's partner, Greg, started a charity which raises money for families of missing people. I can only hope that this enables families to locate their missing loved ones. Christopher Jeffries also ended up winning a sum in damages due to his reputational tarnishing and character assassination by the media. So, what can we learn from this tragic case from the past? Well, in spite of anything positive coming out, Joanna's family are never getting their daughter back. So rest in peace to her. Could this have been prevented? The people heard screaming could have acted, but is understandable given the desire for people wanting privacy and so not intervening. Still, it is a terrible shame. As for Tabak, did his girlfriend see any warning signs that could have led to his capture sooner? We'll never truly know the answer. Like I mentioned before, some good did come out of this tragic situation. Rest in peace to Joanna Yeates, and I hope her family have gained some type of closure, although the wounds will never truly heal. Thanks for watching Cases from the Past.